everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Alyssa Roxy and today we are going to be getting down to business. I'm actually getting ready for a shoot right now. I have a shoot that I planned with one of my homeboys. It's like a Calvin Klein inspired photo shoot and it should be a lot of fun. I'm actually like really looking forward to it and I'm really excited for it. And I just thought, you know, I haven't done a modeling video on here in a while, and rather than the basic get ready with me for a shoot or come with me to a shoot, I was like, I want to give you guys information, you know, like I want to tell you what's what. I'm also trying the e.l.f. soap brows thing for the first time. They said you just add water, put your spoolie in this shit, then you brush it through your brows. This is probably not the spoolie to do this with. I really hope I'm not doing this wrong. Give me a second, because y'all know I can't like focus and do my brows at the same time. I like this. I really like this. I could fuck with this. Basically today I was like, I'm tired of always filming like the same fucking stuff when it comes to my model content. This, like, it's still a get ready with me for a shoot. Like, obviously I'm sitting here doing my makeup and talking to you guys. It's clearly a get ready with me. But I wanted to make it a little bit different and a little bit more fun just by like giving you guys the tea and the dirt on the modeling industry. Like, I'm gonna give you guys all the little insider info that I never really get to talk about much. By the way, I'm going in with the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I also just finished prepping my face with, damn, this shit is sticky. I also just finished prepping my face with like my moisturizers and everything, and I am doing a full face. I'm kind of going for a natural beat, natural glam, because Calvin Klein, I feel like they're kind of more subtle when it comes to the makeup. Like, it's not about the makeup, obviously, it's about the underwear and the jeans. Let me like get myself together first, because I actually like not trying to make this video 3 hours. So next I'm about to go in with the Lancome Tiente Ultra Wear 24-hour matte foundation. I want to start off this video with telling you guys about agencies. So if you don't know, when I first started modeling back in 2017, I started 2018, I started taking it more seriously. But when I had started modeling and I was like getting into it professionally, I was with a big agency, and it's been a lot of time now and I'm over it and I really have nothing to hide. So I'm just gonna say I was with LA Models, and I used to be so afraid of saying that, but now I'm like, that's bullshit. It's what happened and this is my experience with them. Other people can have a different experience. This is my experience. I was with LA Models when I first signed. I hated it. I hated it. It was my biggest regret in terms of modeling. I do not have really any fond memories from being signed with them. It was hard on me mentally just because I was paying them to be on their website, which you should never have to do for an agency. Like, you should never be paying your agency any type of money. The only money that you should be giving them is when you get booked and the percentage that they take from your checks. That is the only reason why an agency should ever be getting money out of you, and the only time they should be getting any type of compensation is when you're getting compensation as well. And I was not working. I was with them for a year and a half and I was not getting sent out on auditions. I wasn't being pushed. I wasn't being advocated for. I'd send emails, I would complain, and I would get ignored. And I learned very quickly that part of the reason for that, and it's very common with big agencies in general, is that the big agencies have girls that they've been working with and been training since they were like kids. Either known them since they were kids, they have a personal connection with that specific agent that they signed with, and they've been with the company since they were younger, they have family who's been with the company. Something that puts that other model on a pedestal, and you will learn very quickly with the big agency route that you're not gonna get put on auditions, you're not gonna get the same amount of work. If you do, you'll work like once or twice a year, maybe go on 3 to 4 auditions a year, and every single time I would go into the agency and I would have my complaints, they would always hit me with, oh, okay, well, your look right now isn't like what's popping. Not me choking on my brush. Isn't what's popping, basically. Like, you need to gain 10 pounds. So I'd go home, spend 2 months like working out, trying to gain weight, trying to do this, trying to do that. I'd come back ready to take new digitals. They'd be like, you took too long, lose 10 pounds. And it would go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it was just a very toxic environment. I wasn't working. I was battling a fucking eating disorder. Like, it was all very draining for me. So I always like to do my foundation first with a brush, and then I go over cover my entire face and everything that I covered with a beauty blender. I go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it was a very toxic environment. I was very happy to finally get a way to break out of my contract, and my mother agent was like, this is enough, you're not working, it's clearly having an effect on you mentally, like we need to get you away from here, like this is not the right fit for you. She helped me get out of my contract with them, and we kind of just went back to work on like finding what was my next move. Do I want to go with an agency again? Am I gonna freelance? And I was like, I don't want a big agency. I told her like off bat, like I do not want to go with a big agency again, like that shit fucked me up. And she was like, no, I completely understand. And coincidentally, right after me and her had this meeting, she had a meeting with one of her very good friends and my agent now, and at the time they were called Wonder, now they rebranded into Love, and she brought me up to him and he was like, oh my god, like I want to meet with her. And I was so like, guys, I was freaking out. I was like, I've never even heard of Wonder, like what the fuck is that? Is that even an agency? I'm so scared. I tried looking them up, and they were a very small, very boutique agency. They had very few models, was just very low-key. Long story short, after I met with Scott and I signed with Wonder, now Love, that was the best decision I ever fucking made. I couldn't be more appreciative of my agency that I have now and my mother agent Suzanne. Like they fucking are the dream team for me, bro. I like to bring my contour all the way up to my temple and then blend it down. But yeah, so I signed with Love, and like I was telling you guys, like it was just a complete 360 from what I was dealing with at LA Models. I have such a personal relationship with my agent. He's always talking about the next step for my career and like what our next moves are, and it's because he doesn't have 200 to 300 fucking girls that he's trying to deal with and manage and get jobs for. He has about 10 girls of a certain look that he can actually focus on, and so it's a lot less work for not only him but for the models too. Like I get booked way more through them than I was even getting auditions for at LA Models. The biggest piece of advice I always start with when anyone asks me I want to get into modeling, who should I look for, where should I go, unless you have the influencer look and body type and everything like that, don't go the big agency route. You want the agency where when people ask, oh, who are you signed with, and you tell them, they're like, what is that? That is like music to my fucking ears. If someone doesn't know the agency I'm with, I love that, because that means that they don't have a million fucking girls. That means I'm getting the most work I could possibly be getting out of this agency. Next, I go in with the Kosas concealer. I used to use shade 6 warm, now I use shade 5 warm. Looks a little crazy, I know. Then I go in with the Kosas concealer, shade 3 warm, and I go in the center of my forehead. Bro, shut the fuck up. That's gonna irritate me under my eyes, like in the center, to brighten that up. So that's usually my first piece of advice for anyone who's getting into the modeling game and you're not sure what to do, how to go about it, or where to go. Boutique agencies. Small agencies that they're hard to find, that most people don't know about. That is always, especially if you have a very unique look, or you are quite honestly a woman of any color, like any race that's not Caucasian, quite honestly, boutique agencies are the way to go. That's my biggest piece of advice for when you're starting out in the modeling industry. Next thing I get asked probably the most is, okay, that's all fine and dandy, Alyssa, but how do I find an agency? Like, where am I supposed to find an agency? How do you just find an agent? So this question is always a little bit more difficult for me to answer, just because I had a very, I would say, unusual start to my modeling career. I actually was discovered by my mother agent through Instagram. A friend's mom gave her my Instagram, and she reached out to me, and we set up a meeting with her and my mom, and she started training me. So she trained me in my runway walk. She helped like refine my posing and how to act on set, what to do at auditions and castings, how to make my portfolio, how to get test shoots, how to work with photographers, how to reach out to photographers, everything like that. She kind of taught me how to do, and it wasn't cheap, but it was so needed. It was so needed because I noticed a lot of girls starting out now have like absolutely no information, and it's understandable, because where the hell are you supposed to just like one day you're like, oh yeah, I want to be a model, and then you just know what you're doing? Like, it doesn't work like that. It's just not what happens. But I always tell people, because of the fact that she chose that she wanted to work with me through Instagram, I always try to stress how important social media is for modeling. Even when you go to an audition, a lot of times, especially now, when you go to the sign-in sheet, they're gonna ask your name, your height, what agency you're with, and your Instagram handle. And they're looking at your Instagram handle, one, because that's like your digital portfolio. So of course, like, post what you want, post your family and friends pics, post your nights out, but be very conscious of what you're posting, because if let's say a brand who's like Fresh Empire wants to book you, but then they see that you were at a hookah lounge on Friday night, they're not booking you. They're like, oh, she's gorgeous, she's exactly what we want her to look like, but look at what she's posting, you know? So you want to be conscious of stuff like that, and you also want to take your social media more seriously, like it is business, because that's what it is. It's a business profile. You are your own brand. Think about the way brands want to represent themselves and how they want people to see them and view them. That's how you have to think about yourself as your own brand. And modeling agencies, when you go to open casting calls, when you book meetings with designers, first thing that they're going to check before booking you is your social media. They want to see how good you work in terms of photography and your photo shoots, and then they also want to see what do you do in your personal time. What kind of person are you? I always say when it comes to looking for an agent, finding an agency, start getting serious about your social media presence and your social media profile, because it will make the biggest difference when you actually do get signed and when you actually do start booking. My face is actually coming out really good today. Skin is, I want to dip my finger into my skin, like it looks like fucking glass. See, that's another reason, like, I love this camera, but you can't tell how good my makeup looks right now on this camera. You just can't, and it sucks. Next, I'm gonna go in with Rare Beauty blush in the shade Joy, and this is so pigmented you don't need a lot. What was next on the list? I don't even remember. That's a good one. Learn what your niche is before expanding. This is so important, guys. I didn't understand the terminology and the importance of like a niche in modeling. Rude. For the longest freaking time, and it held me back because I was like, I want to do high fashion, I want to do high fashion, how do I get more high fashion? And my agents would always like basically tell me to shut the fuck up and calm down, because it was gonna be quite a while before I do high fashion, just because of the look that I was born with. Like, I have a very commercial look. I look very much like I do the jean campaigns and the tennis shoe campaigns. Think Urban Outfitters, or think Levi's, or think Forever 21. That's what I look like. I'm commercial. That is commercial modeling. That's commercial print. And I haven't given up on high fashion, like not in the least, but I know it's gonna take me a lot longer to work my way up to high fashion, just because I'm not established in the modeling world yet. Realistically speaking, this is just the statistics that if you're gonna get into this industry, you better start getting comfortable with. More people make it as a professional athlete than people who make it as a professional model. That's the reality. Think about it. The NFL, the NBA, the MLB, and NHL? I feel like there's an NHL. I don't know what it's for, but I'm pretty sure there's one of those too. More people make it onto that shit professionally than professional models. And most like supermodels, which I don't consider them that, they're gorgeous and I love their work and they work to get there in some way. Kendall Jenner, Gigi Hadid, Bella Hadid, those are all nepotism babies. They were born into the fucking game. They got a lot of jobs handed to them because of who their parents are. And a lot of people worked with them because of who their parents are. I just take whatever's remaining on the beauty blender and put it in the center of my forehead for blush. And then now I'm gonna powder. I am gonna bake, but first under my eyes I kind of just like to set immediately, and then I'm gonna go ahead and powder the rest of my face after I put my bake on. What was I saying? The thing about the niche. So I had to kind of come to terms with, until I can walk into a room and know that a designer is gonna see me and be like, oh my gosh, Alyssa, how are you? High fashion is on the back burner. But there's something that is still within my niche that can be high fashion, and that's makeup and beauty. So my most recent goal has become, okay, I want a beauty campaign, because high fashion, I could do a beauty campaign for Lancome, you know? That's high fashion. It's high-end, high fashion makeup. So there's... Well, hi. Hello. Mr. Slobber all over me and make a mess. Definitely do your research when you start getting into it and figure out what niche you fall under, because not only will it make your life easier because you'll know what type of pictures you should be taking, and you should experiment with all of them, but you'll know when you're walking into agencies. I have done and practiced work within my niche. This is how you can market me. This is what I know I'll do well in, and it makes the job easier on everyone. And because you look so knowledgeable, they're more likely to want to sign you, and more people are more likely to want to book you. I'm going to do my nose contour. I can't talk while I do my nose contour. By the way, I use the Kat Von D Shade Light palette. Okay, now I'm going to take off my bake, and then we'll get into the next part of the questions I get asked a million times a day. I'm actually gonna use the Juvia's eyeshadow palette. I've been using this for blush a lot recently just because it's so pigmented and I fucking love it. So the other question I get asked a lot is how, if I'm not signed, do I find castings and auditions? And it's a fair question. It took me a long time to even start looking for castings and auditions that weren't from my agency, but I do freelance as well as working with my agency just because I get more work that way. Networking, that's what I want to say first before I even tell you guys the sites and Instagram people you could follow. It's about fucking networking. You guys have no idea how many jobs I've gotten just from knowing people, just from like going out and talking to people and like going to parties and going to events, being there to network and not being there to party. Like, I will literally tell my parents I'm going out at like 10 o'clock at night. They'll be like, oh, where are you going? And I'm like, to an event. And if I say it's to an event, it's because I'm going to work. If I say, oh, I'm going like to the club or I'm going to a party, it's because I'm actually going to like go party and have fun with my friends. But if I'm going to an event, I'm not there to have fun. I end up having fun regardless, because I mean the whole point is to have fun with people who are like-minded and in the same field as you. But I'm there to fucking work. And I've gotten so many jobs that way. I've made so many personal relationships with businesses and designers and clothing brands that way. Networking will open so many more doors than your agent or management ever fucking could. And that's no disrespect to agents, because I love my agents. It's just the truth. Networking has opened so many more doors for me. I feel so ridiculous talking like this with my nose, but it has opened so many more doors for me than I think they ever could. It's because the people were actually able to meet me and get to know me before having to just see my picture or see me walk into a room and have me walk in front of them or show them my portfolio. They were actually able to like meet me and get to know me and my personality and what I was like and all of that fun bullshit, you know? And that goes a long way. So you definitely want to know how to talk to people. You definitely just want to be on the lookout for upcoming events in your city, especially if you're in LA or New York, because those are the top places where you're going to meet people who are going to be beneficial for you and who you can actually like make friends with, who are going to be in the same field as you. But yeah, so for me, networking, that's how I get so many of my jobs. That's how I've made some of the best friendships I could have possibly ever made. There's just so much that comes from networking and that like you get out of networking, and I can't stress it enough. It's extremely important. You need to learn how to go outside and talk to people that you normally wouldn't go up to and talk to, and just make friends, have a good time, watch what happens. Other than that, there's a lot of good Instagram pages that you could follow just on social media, and they post different castings where they are. I would always follow brands that you want to work with, because sometimes they hold open castings and they'll post it on their website and on their Instagram, so you could always go to their open casting calls. So definitely I'll tag the casting Instagrams down below in the description, so you can just go ahead and follow them. But be on the lookout for casting Instagrams and follow the brands that you want to work with, because you never know when they're gonna have an open casting call. So that's how you find castings. If you're not signed, that's how I would go about finding castings. I'm doing so good on time too. That shit never happens. Let me knock on fucking wood before I fuck myself over. If I remember to insert some clips, I'll insert some clips from the shoot today, just that you guys can see how everything came out. And if I happen to have the pictures back before this video goes up, I will prop them up on the screen as I'm talking right now. But I noticed I was talking a lot and I was ranting a lot in this video, so I really didn't even get to tell you guys as much as I wanted to tell you. But I feel like we covered a lot of important topics today. So if you guys enjoyed this video and would like more videos like this, just leave a like down below and I will make that happen, where I just tell you guys about the industry, give you guys advice about the industry. Where the fuck did the spoolie go? It's a tough fucking industry. There's a lot of competition out there and no one's helping anyone. I'm trying to help y'all out. I already jinxed myself. I said we're doing so well on time. I just checked right now. It says I'm gonna get there at 6:17. I am ready. I am done. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed. I actually kind of enjoyed today's video, just like talking with you guys as I got ready and giving you the dirt and the tea. I felt like we were on FaceTime just having tea time. So it was actually kind of enjoyable for me. I would definitely love to do this video again. So if you want to see it, like I said, let me know down below. But guys, with all of that being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe all down below. All my social medias will be in the description down below, as well as my TikTok, Instagram, and my Twitter, and all my recent videos, so you never have to miss an upload from me. And with all of that being said, again, thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. I hope it was really informative and you guys felt like you were on FaceTime with me like I did with you. But I'm late. So with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.